Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 14th day of January 2020. Isn't that amazing? 2020, a 22 year, the cosmic builder. I don't know. I think this promises to be a really interesting year as we go forward with everything that's going on. The impeachment in the Senate is moving forward, apparently. We'll see if that really happens. I don't know. My pendulum is giving me all kinds of different things now. And initially it was telling me that there would not be a conviction in the Senate, and then one day, a couple of weeks back, it switched. And it's remained so that he'll be convicted, but then it seems like maybe it might take forever, in other words, things are not going to go the way some in the Senate wanted it to, where it's just going to be, yeah, forget it. He's not guilty, and that's it. We're not even going to talk to anybody, right? Well, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think there'll be witnesses, and I think that the American people are going to be able to hear a little more about what went on, and then they'll make their decision. And but no matter what decision that they make, he'll still remain an impeached president, just like Bill Clinton was. So I think that that's just not a good thing in any person's career. So in any event, he could have done things differently, but he chose to be who he is, and that's just not going to work. So there you go. So we'll see what this year ends up being. We just don't know. With this powerful of an energy working, though, it could be anything, really. But I would hope that it's bent on spirit focus instead of, and service to others focus instead of service to self, because that really isn't getting at people anywhere, is it? Right now, one thing I wanted to start doing is start looking at the effect of the ascendant and the nodes, the moon's nodes, on what's going on in the skies as well. Not just look at the normal aspects, but to take a look more at those. The ascendant's in Pisces right now, so emotional, psychic, empath, compassion. Those are the kind of keywords for Pisces. So keep that in mind. The moon's still in the 7th house in Virgo, but you want to, one thing we didn't talk about yesterday, you want to spend time with a partner. However, you're going to need to remain flexible and open to avoid any issues that might arise, because there's some other things happening as well. Sun, 11th house in Capricorn. You're going to be reevaluating, again, still the different areas of your life, but particularly relationships, and whether or not they're actually working for you. They may not be. There might be ones, maybe they're relationships that were born of a cause, maybe, or a movement, or a set of ideas or beliefs that you got involved in. And then maybe now you're reevaluating that and saying, well, maybe that was fun for a while, but maybe it's time to just go do something else. It doesn't have to be, where I don't like those people anymore. It's not that. It's just, maybe you're just going to go do something else now and sort of suspend some of that other. Still a conjunct with Saturn and the Sun, steady progress and achievement. Again, principles over other things, maybe ego. So you want to be careful there. Let's go here. 12th house in Pisces for Venus now. It's moved out of the 1st house in Aquarius into the 12th house in Pisces. So emotions may be in flux. Compassion, you may need compassion. You may need to extend compassion, but take time for reflection today. Again, we're reconsidering some things right now. And a lot of it has to do with partnerships or relationships or just how we see things, Jupiter in the 10th house has moved into the 10th house in Capricorn. Career expansion potential is possible. However, again, there's a conjunct between Jupiter and the North Node where it's talking about stressful relationships. And again, reevaluation may need to happen. Saturn, 11th house Capricorn, again, careful in the selection of friends and associates. Some may end. So I think that what we're really seeing now is maybe an end to maybe some temporary relationships, maybe, or relationships that maybe weren't going to be long lasting anyway. Most, I think, of our relationships, they're just friendly acquaintances, really. They're not really long-term friends per se, but they're friends, you know, they're just not somebody that's going to be in your life all of the time. And I think maybe that's where we're coming, that maybe it reminds me of when someone's wild ride is about over. You know, I mean, have you ever had a friend where, you know, they got up, they're hanging around a different crowd of people, and you know, you're wondering what the heck's going on with them. You know, they're sort of doing things and talking in ways they didn't before. Sometimes that is, you know, really indicative of who they are. But sometimes it's a moment in time that they just get caught up in. And I suspect that that's what this is about, that we're dealing with the realization that we've been part of a moment in time that maybe now deserves some reevaluation and maybe letting some of it go. So anyhow, if there's one theme today, I would say that it's that, and probably for the next, you know, while will be that, is just reevaluation and taking a hard look at who we're hanging around with and what we're doing, and does it really align with who we are inside and our true purpose. So as you see, we're in the still room again. I put some things up on the wall. I'll find something better. But of course, you can't beat the Buddha, but still, you know, I have to do something to deal with the Mylar. I'm not taking it down. So anyway, it'd be just too much to have to try to do that with everything in here. I don't think I could do it. So I'm just going to cover things up. It's just going to take me a while. So I'll find some cool tapestries or whatever to hang on here, because it is a little bit glary. So anyhow, I sort of turned the table a little bit today to just a slightly different angle to take the glare off. So anyhow, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. One thing I wanted to mention, let's see, Ultimate Bundles, their flash sales tomorrow for Genius Bloggers Toolkit. And that's going to be only on the 15th and 16th. And it's $97 for the full bundle. They're offering it only in over 2 days again. It was last year for a time. And it's 94 products worth over $7,000, 26 ebooks, 7 printables, workbooks, 55 e-courses and videos, 5 stock photo packs and templates, and 1 membership site that you can belong to. If you're trying to grow your blog, if you're trying to monetize it, if you're trying to find your way through all of that, you know, if you were like me, I just sort of winged it. And, you know, I started my blog in 2012, the end of 2012. So it's been a while. It's been about 7 years. And, you know, I didn't monetize it first. It took me, probably 4 or 5 years before I started doing that. And I will not run ads. Well, yeah, I am. But I'm being selective, you know, about what that is. And I'm choosing the people I work with. And, well, they're choosing me. But, you know, still, I make the initial choice. And I try to, you know, align with people that sort of, you know, are aligned with what I think about and the things I'm concerned about. So anyway, check that out if you want to. There's a link here under the video. It's not live today because it's not the 15th, but as of, I think, 12:01 in the morning tomorrow, it will be. So come back and click on that link, and it'll take you to there, and I'll earn a little commission on the sale if you purchase. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And let's get going on our first 3 cards. We're going to take the first 3, and then we'll take a 4th if we need one. But we won't know that until we're done with that. And I'm going to take the 13th card each time for randomness sake. And then when I'm done, we're going to take a look at one of the runes in the rune bag. We'll pull one of those out and see what the rune is for the day, and combine all of that together, all of the interpretations together, and we'll finish out with a geomancy rune to sort of tie it all together. Or sometimes it just acts as an outlier. So anyhow, let's get started with our first card. Well, we start with a Page of Pentacles. So we're going to start with a court card. Before, when I was in my altar area doing this, I would put my cards down on my laptop, and now I have my laptop kind of sitting up on a box while I have this table here. And so it gives me more room, really, for my cards and everything else. It's just I have to be careful not to bump the table. Yesterday, it looked like I had an earthquake a few times. But just like me, it's a work in progress, so we'll see how it goes. We have the Three of Cups. So far we've got the Earth element with the Page of Pentacles. We have a 3 energy going so far. There's no number associated with the page. If it would be, it'd be an 11. So illumination and all of that. The page is always seeming to illuminate something. 11, 12, 13. I dropped a card in mid-shuffle there. Well, the 9 of Pentacles. So we have a pattern, then we've got 2 pentacles, and we have 1 cup. So we're going to put the cups in the middle. Well, we'll leave it in the middle, and we'll have it be the focal point, I think. That's the easiest way to do this. Just let me look here a minute, though. We could make the page. Let's start with the 3, though. No. Let's make the page the center card. Let's do it that way. I really think that's the best way. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, so 3 energy on this. What did we say today is? It's the 14th, so it's a 5 energy. So we initially have an energy of change for the day. Let's look at the Page of Pentacles. Now we're talking, new direction maybe, a new foundation, maybe something new on the horizon with respect to career. The pages are about something new, students, new potential, undeveloped potential. And then it's just basically going to be assigned to, whatever suit that it's in. But here you're typically talking about a student. So planning for his life, planning for his career, getting his education. So it sort of speaks to the notion of the future, doesn't it? And planning your life for the future. And that's really what the page is talking about here. We're talking about someone who's also reliable and dependable, but I really think that this is about the future and how we're planning for it. Now, our past has been fraught with difficulty here over the last few years. You could even say over the last 5 years, if you include, when the campaign started. If you take this back to, say, 2015, we've watched our relationships with one another fragment. Because again, we're moving in maybe another direction politically, or maybe the things that we've experienced or something have taken us into a place where our concerns are getting louder, right? And we're wanting to express them louder. Because maybe we're tired of things being the way that they are, right? And so over the course of time, people sort of factioned off into one particular viewpoint or another, or maybe more. I'm sure that there's lots of shades of gray within all of that. But now what we're seeing, especially in the 22 year, we're seeing the potential for something new to take hold. If you look at the 22, this is indicative of the 4 of Wands, and maybe I should try to find it here, but it'll probably take too long. But if we look at the 4 of Wands, what we have are 4 poles, and then they have like garlands that make an X on top. And this is what it kind of looks like. Okay? It doesn't look like this, trust me. It looks much better than what this does. But the whole idea is that you're coming together. The couple is coming together. It's a marriage. It looks like a marriage ceremony. After the marriage ceremony has taken place. But it's called, how I've always interpreted the 4 of Wands is intentional movement or intentional balanced energy exchange with others, or with someone else, right? And here you have each individual coming together and their polarity is balanced within, and that's coming together in a marriage and in a union. Okay. So in a sense, though, we're looking at that, aren't we? So the 22-year promises intentional reunion. Okay. So whatever things that are out of balance within us, whatever, and again, you know, I talked when we first started here today about things about having to, the astrology is saying, look, we're going to have to do some reevaluation. A lot of it having to do with the direction we've taken and the friendships we've made and what we're doing with all of that. And is it really helping the situation? Is it helping our lives? Is it really where we want to be? And I think for many people, you're going to find that it's not. And so you're going to find that this year it'll be an intentional coming back together in this 22 cosmic builder year. So the Page of Pentacles is really talking about its undeveloped potential for the future and about coming together and securing our foundation maybe in a better way. And one way we're going to do that is to come together in a 3 energy of mind, body, spirit alignment. We're also going to come together in fellowship with one another. The three of cups is about that. It's about joy and fellowship and success and victory and the triple goddess aspects manifested, celebration with one another. But it's a reunion of sorts with spirit as a focus. And when that happens, you see, then peace comes back. We see a woman of means in her garden. She's just having a lovely day there. You can see her home in the distance, the castle, the kingdom in the distance. She's likely the queen. 9 is about completion and endings. So the end of the conflict, end of the strife. Security, groundedness here. She's got her falcon on her. She's out letting him hunt. She's just out on a Sunday hunt with her falcon. It's really just about security. You know, it's about overcoming challenges. And it seems like the last 5 years has been nothing but, you know, where we watch families fall apart because they're not in sync, you know, with ideology. Maybe you've got, you know, the kids that maybe are progressive or liberal and the parents are conservative, or vice versa. I've read where one well-known journalist, I think she's a journalist, and her family, one, you know, they're liberal. One of their kids is not. And it makes for interesting, you know, dinner conversation. But it's a lesson in tolerance. It's a lesson in acceptance. It's a lesson in truth, really. In honoring people for just, you know, and accepting them for who they are. Here we have Degas, which is the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark of 5 energy, and so it's aligning well with today. And what's so very cool about Degas, and this is not my interpretation of it, its energy at its saturation point becomes its opposite. So maybe we've become saturated with, you know, whatever we've been involved in relationship-wise, and now we're just ready to move on into something better. I'm going to draw this out because Degas is a bind rune in and of itself. Excuse my cold. I think we got it up at the grocery store. My husband got it first. We've been doing our elderberry and our wild cherry bark tinctures and our nettle. Nettle is good to do as well, but particularly elderberry. And it's made it much less than what it could have been. Here we have in the center, we have Gebo, balanced energy exchange with others. We're going to terminate it on the ends, though, with Isa, the 11th rune of the Elder Futhark, the Norn rune for the static realm or the present moment. So it's basically going to terminate the energy flow, as to provide that ending. But see, Degas is about a new day, right? So there you go. One more here. We have laguz in all directions, so flow. And, oh, not one more. We have one more after that. We have Kenaz in all directions. The light of spirit. Within, without, above, below. So it should tell you that what's happening right now, the energies that are surrounding us, that are bolstering us, that are supporting us, they're energies of spirit. And if we pay attention to that, then a new day is possible. If we don't, then we're going to stay in the mess that we're in, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and people are going to be mad at each other, and you know, all the lying that's taking place is going to continue. I'm going to have a piece up on the blog here. I was going to post it last night, but then I decided that I wasn't finished with it, so I'm going to work a little more on it today. But it's called collective deception, or a collective deception, something like that. Anyway, but it's basically dealing with this, where so much of what's happening, for it to continue, it's based on deception. You know, to have someone say, a secretary, a cabinet secretary say, well, we know the information, but we're not going to tell you. You know, no, we don't know where and when, but we know, but we're not going to tell you. No, you don't know where and you don't know when, and you're lying. It's just, you know, they look so stupid when they do it too. That's the thing that gets me. You know, I realize I'm an empath, and empaths know when people are lying or when something isn't right. So for me to listen to all this is just, I have to shut the TV off. I have to leave the room. I have to mute it. I can't do it. It's too much to sit and listen to the President of the United States lie every second that he speaks. At least it seems like it. I mean, there may be once in a blue moon he doesn't, but 4 embassies? No. None of that was even remotely true. This was something that, well, somebody cooked it up, right? And consequently, you know, we're getting lied to again. Now, I will tell you, as an empath, when people lie, it's exhausting. I mean, it is. To experience the energy is just exhausting, because you know there's the irritation you feel that they're lying, and then there's the fact that you want to it's awful. It's awful. You want to feel in and figure, okay, what's the truth? And you know, but so instead of, you know, detaching yourself from the moment, from the experience of it all, is severing, you know, letting that energetic channel dissolve, doing it immediately. Because, you know, once you pay attention to something, you've developed an energetic channel to it, right? And so you have to actually tell it to dissolve before it will. Sometimes you can remove your attention from it and it'll do it, but you need to set the intention. I find it's just much quicker if you just set the intention, okay, let's let that one dissolve and let me go find something else to do. And then go focus yourself someplace else. Do it for at least a minute or so that takes hold, and you know, because it's going to take a little bit to shift, right? You're going to want to hang on. And you don't want to do that. You know, you want to get out of all of it. Because lying is just, it's just the worst to try to deceive anybody, right? To do it to a country, good Lord. And the world, bigger good Lord, you know? Well, we're talking poor here, so poor energy, little boy energy, so yeah, you know, there's a little thing called attachment disorder, and it's not little, but I have to wonder, when you see somebody who seems so morally bankrupt and is in such a transactional type of a engagement with people, where there's no empathy, none, zero empathy, no self-awareness at all. just what can I get from you? You know, what kind of deal can we do? You know, so it's purely transactional. No awareness of the bigger picture, no concept of that at all. It's simply, this is what I want. What do I got to do to get it? What do I got to do to get you in this car today, right? Right. Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. No awareness, no care that maybe you can't afford it or what. No, I just want to do whatever I have to do to get you in this car, separate you from your money and get you in the car today, right? Typical car salesman approach, stereotypic car salesman approach. I've had car salesmen that don't do that. I mean, they don't. I have never bought I haven't bought very many cars in my life. Just a handful, really. I keep the one I have. The one I have now is a 2012. So I don't buy cars. I don't like the experience, but fortunately, the last couple of times it's been good. So, well, this time was not. My last one was not. So I'll never go there again. They don't get my business for my services. I go to the valley for my services. I drive over the mountain. I don't do them locally. Yeah, because of that. Anyway, a bit of a digression there. This is Pure. And again, it's little boy energy. It's impulse control, lack of impulse control. I think that's at the heart, maybe. If it's attachment disorder, where there just seems to be this empty vacuousness to a person, and that's what I see here. It's what I feel energetically with him, with the president. I have to wonder if that happened as a child. We've read different things about what his childhood was like. It doesn't look like it was all that supportive. And that his mom, I think I read, was out of the home when he was small, because she had a baby, and I think she had some issues or something, health issues with it, and she had to stay in the hospital for a little bit. I think that's what I read. So it led me to think, well, I mean, could that be where all of this started for him? The criminality and all the things that apparently he's engaged in? Because there seems to be this emptiness about him, you know, that's typical of someone predatory, who's transactional, in other words, that doesn't take into account other people's feelings or anything else. It's just simply about him. So I have to wonder, you know, and then if we're talking about the changes in our own relationships, how much of the energy that we've put towards something that maybe not be serving us well reflect the lack of impulse control with Pure. So maybe what we're talking about here with the the geomancy rune is that, and I think we're going to close here because I'm losing my voice. I think that what we're talking about here with the geomancy rune is the underlying current of what happened that maybe took us in a different direction. Maybe some things were exciting, it was filled with energy, we liked it, we got caught up, but now we're trying to think, well, maybe not so much. And so with the astrology being what it is, about reevaluation and reevaluating relationships, maybe putting some in the short-term category, you know, that maybe need to go there, and then maybe move on to something else. That seems to be what's going on here. And when we take that new focus, right, and we allow that to take hold, we turn our focus to something else that's more sustainable, right? Maybe we come back into alignment with others, first coming in alignment with the self, and then we can understand how we can then have a nice settled life. We can stop worrying about the chaos and we can just get back to being happy with one another. Allow the new day to begin, one period end and a new one beginning in this 22 year. And allow the little boy energy to sort of grow up a little. Maybe substitute it with a smart girl energy in the fall, huh? Anyway. I guess that's it. Again, the Genius Bloggers Toolkit goes live tomorrow. I'll talk about it again to remind you all. There's going to be a lot of tweets going up. I think I did a whole bunch. I think I did one an hour for 2 days I scheduled them. So if you're on Twitter and you notice, I'm Mistress Chan on Twitter. So if you notice, that's me doing that. And sorry about affiliate stuff, but you know, I try to intersperse it with a whole lot of other stuff. So it's not just that. It isn't just that. It's me being me as well. So anyway. Plus, if you're looking at the Stepping Aside's Facebook page, it's going to be up over there. I'm going to do a little video for it here today. I'm going to get that done sometime today and get that posted up so that people know about it. And on that, I'm going to I'll have the list out of what's all in it, and I'll be a little bit more detailed than what I was here. So, any event, check it out, and I hope you buy it. I am probably going to buy it. I'll probably do that today, simply because I think it's got a lot of great information, and I've looked over the whole thing, and it's really cool. So if you're a blogger, you're thinking about being one, this will help. Trust me. So anyhow, thanks so much for coming by. Again, check out the blog over there at imsteppingaside.com. Click subscribe here. I'd love you to do that. And let's see. Oh, the newsletter on the blog, it's everywhere. You can click on a link below this to get to it, and you can sign up. You can just put your email in and click send, and it goes to this MailChimp thing, and that's where I do my newsletter. That's the new thing for the year, is the newsletter. And so it's going to have stuff in it that's not in the blog, and it connects to the blog, but it's going to have other stuff. So anyway, there'll be some affiliate stuff in there too. But again, it's aligned with what I'm doing. So, you know, it's not the weird pornographic stuff. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't like it. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.